Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello, and welcome back. It has been a long time. It has been so many weeks.
Too long. Good to see everybody.
But at last, at last we return. How has everyone been in these times away?
I've been pretty good. I went up to DC to visit some friends. I've been messing around with my camera, taking pictures. I've been, keeping busy, enjoying myself.
Oh, yeah, I have two of you in the wrong place because I am the worst. I'll fix it up.
Things with me are going good. Today, my fortune cookie told me that I was going to be famous because of my creative brain.
Oh, really?
So, things are looking up.
I mean, that
we wish you luck.
It could certainly be real. I mean, we're playing a game that you wrote, so
Yeah, it was a little bit on the nose.
Yeah, honestly. It's a little bit dead on, actually.
Yeah, we are the sacrifices upon the altar of your stardom.
You're absolutely right, Sean.
I've been great too. Like you and I have done a new LARP, which was exciting.
Yeah, it was really fun.
What else? I've been playing a lot of Stellaris.
New expansion for that soon, right? Or like
Synthetic Dawn, which is something that I'm excited for. Unfortunately, all my runs so far have ended with the fallen empires waking up and deciding to destroy me.
I mean, that sounds like Stellaris, yeah. The only time I ever won a game of Stellaris was as space kobolds. So, I mean, I
think give her strength.
Kobolds are just my lucky fantasy creature. Definitely.
In the multiplayer one that I'm doing with a friend, though, Space Gen Vespin, they destroyed one of the fallen empires.
Elf fascists, basically.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to say we've been getting some really cool fan submission art video things from the Boyd on Twitter, and
thank you, the Boyd.
Fantastic. I have no idea if the Boyd is here or watches the VODs or what have you, but they are so good, and I have watched them all so many times.
They're pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm into it. Yeah. So, I don't know. We got to figure out what we were up to.
We were in the middle of achieving heroic victory over the forces of darkness.
Really? Because I don't think that's what we were doing.
You were making a desperate bid to, do the hardest possible things.
Oh, we're striking at the heart of darkness? Oh, good.
Uh-huh.
Good.
And it was so down to the wire. Right? Like, we're one tick away on this track from the darkness coming for you guys.
Oh yeah, I guess we are.
So we're just squeaking by.
Let's fill that. Who wants a downtime action?
It would be really statistically hard for us to fill it with a downtime action, I feel like. Right?
No.
Yeah, it's less likely to happen.
That's what I mean. It's like statistically less likely to happen than if we did it early. That's all I'm saying.
And then if I recall correctly, the tail end of our previous episode was Aquila / Connor receiving a little gift from Charybdis.
Yes.
In order to complete, it was this clock, right? The Discover the Tyler Scorpio's weakness.
Yes.
Clock.
Yes.
And so you have this arrowhead that will absorb his power into the Dark Star Charybdis, but kill him, if I recall correctly.
That is my goal.
Sounds about right.
And then simultaneous to that, Corvus completed her clock about returning Scorpio's power, so they have laid the groundwork for fixing the other guy, and your two plans
for
run
fixing dear
contrary
Ben,
to one another.
dear
And
student council president Ben.
I guess we're going into the engagement role for this
I
last
guess
mission.
we are, yeah.
Although let's talk about what the mission actually is. So I just want y'all to decide exactly how you're going about.
I feel like we're striking at the heart of darkness, right? So we're basically gunning for whoever the biggest, baddest big bad is.
I think we
seems to be Scorpio,
and it seems to be Tyler Scorpio. Yeah, rather than
this new Scorpio
Ben
that y'all
Scorpio.
accidentally made.
Yeah, that was a bad plan by us. But so so we're going after Tyler Scorpio, wherever his hideout may be, I believe.
And so relevant dramatis persona here are Charybdis, the massive soul-devouring black hole that corrupts constellations, who has given a useful tool to Aquila.
Mm-hmm.
Madison, a student board member who knows Ben from the student government, and I think she's the one who had a thing for Tyler.
I think so, yes.
Possibly.
If I recall correctly, that was a thing.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And then we've got Ren, who is it was Ren was the young woman who has feelings for Tyler, former cult member.
Oh yeah.
Madison is someone else.
Madison, isn't she the coffee shop girl?
No, that's Sam.
That's Sam.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think Madison might be someone's contact.
Not mine.
No,
She's mine.
Oh.
Yeah, she's Gemini's positive contact. That's what it is. So, we have a couple possible ins, right? Because there's Ren. There's also, what was their name? There was the other cult leader. Oh, yeah, that was Raven, who is Gemini's negative contact. So there are a couple of different people that this mission could involve or could act as leads for it in terms of getting at Tyler where he is. And y'all have done a bunch of the legwork in terms of tracking him down and stuff like that too. So
yep.
So hit me with how y'all want to go about this, and we will go into the engagement role.
Do we just kick in the door to Tyler's mansion, or
we're here? I mean, my typical way to approach any problem is to follow brutally the other two and swoop in when I need to. So it's more up to that, or other three, I guess. It's more up to them.
I shall brutally lead. Gemini, do you have any ideas?
I mean, I don't think Gemini is super invested beyond your guys' interests.
Yeah, beyond the fact that we really, really need to get the darkness to go away, and the new Scorpio has lots of power.
Yeah, I mean, Gemini did a bunch of research and whatnot, but neither of them actually have any idea about what you guys plan to do.
Yeah, because there are two, Corvus and Aquila each have their own approach that they're trying to take here, right?
My plan is to try and return power to Ben. So I guess I'm involving Ben somehow. Because I will have figured out how to do that, right?
Yeah, you spoke with Ben, who was the former Scorpio.
Yeah.
And he has some shady plans. I think as part of you getting there, he was really not happy with you, but he's going to go along with you insofar as he gets his power back, and then kind of the two of you are through.
That sounds about right.
I mean, he's been
if I remember correctly.
But he's always been moody about that, right? It's one of those things where it's he always says stuff like that, but I never believe him because I always follow him around and stuff. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, this time the mechanics tell us that it matters.
Okay.
But yeah, your character can be totally oblivious to that. That's fine.
I mean, that's sort of it.
That seems like something she would do.
She'd be it's fine. He'll take me back.
He'll come around. He always does.
I mean, here's the deal. I know where Tyler's going to be 3 days from now. So I just need to show up there. I will consult my prophecy.
Right, your memories of your past, which is this place's future. It's very confusing.
It's all very strange. Some anime bullshit.
All very strange anime bullshit. Fair enough.
So it's sounding like this is kind of a showdown between Aquila and Scorpio.
And then I'm trying to get Scorpio's power off of Scorpio for Scorpio.
For the previous one for Ben. And so it's like Aquila is like doing a thing, and then everyone else is kind of trying to throw a wrench in it.
I mean, no, I'm not throwing a wrench in it insofar as I just want this extra thing on top of Tyler being dead. I don't care about Tyler. That's not important to me.
I don't think Aquila ever told us she plans to kill Scorpio. I thought that was
I told Corvus.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I would communicate to Gemini that it's very important we find Tyler.
Yeah, that works.
Oh, I can already see how this is gonna go.
Oh, me too.
Great. Well, so it sounds like we have our plan.
Excuse me.
So let's go to the engagement roll.
Certainly.
So the crew gets 1 die for hope and modifies that starting pool based on the following factors. Is the mission particularly heroic or noble? Doesn't sound like it.
No.
Does the mission's goals or method reflect the darkness inside our characters?
Yes.
Emphatically yes for Aquila. Is the mission following through on details from the crew's investigations? Yeah, I think so. So we're back to 1. I don't know if the darkness is particularly... I mean, actually, no, the darkness is very strong, Asus. I think you're playing into Scorpio's hands.
I mean, we are. The whole point of it was that, like, we basically had no choice but to do this, right? Like, that's the idea. Like, we have to go and deal with Scorpio. It's the only thing we can do to, like, stop us from being rooted out at the source and destroyed by the darkness.
So this last question here is, does this mission center around one of your friends? And it actually does, because this is all actually, in a way, is about Ben as well. Right?
Sure.
At least for Corvus. And we can't ignore Corvus's like play in here, right?
Like so crew-wise, it all fits together.
Yeah. So that puts us at 1.
Neat.
The investigation track is at tier 1, though.
Okay.
And you're doing the tier 3, Strike at the Heart of Darkness. So you're back down to 0. You would be at -1 if you could be.
I'm so excited for this.
So, Aquila, why don't you roll a 0 die engagement and we'll see how this goes.
Oh, good!
I hold the light and the darkness in my heart.
Do it. Roll it.
Yeah, there we go.
It's everything we knew it would be.
You never let me down, Sean.
So.
Well, it was a fun session, everybody. I will sit this one out.
On a 1, that means things have gone badly.
Things have gone exactly as we planned.
I mean, when you set it up to already be so terrible, there actually is very little wiggle room for me to then make it worse.
Sure.
That's the one thing that you hedged against quite cleverly.
I 100% disagree. You could just be like, remember Charybdis? Charybdis isn't on your side at all. Like,
Charybdis isn't on our side at all.
You know what I mean, though, right? Like, there's plenty that you could just be like, hey, that thing? No.
So yeah, maybe that's what we can cut to. Aquila and Scorpio, like Tyler Scorpio, have been dueling. Scorpio has this like huge chitinous tail and the big like claw hand things going on, because he's all transformed into his magical persona. And it's in the moment when Aquila has fired this special arrow like straight into his heart. But of course, it's not going to do what we thought it would.
Uh-oh.
And so he like, clutches at it and seems like shocked at first. And this like dark energy like coils around him.
And I think there's like, you see like the blood stain, like the close in on Aquala's mouth, and there's like blood dripping down her cheek, and there's like that tiny smile that they like the zoom in anime thing, like gotcha.
Yeah, totally. And then from seemingly out of nowhere, Capricorn just appears behind Scorpio and puts a hand on his shoulder.
Uh-oh.
And you hear them like in the like low whisper that carries through the space. And let me just set the stage here too. We're at this like, it's like an old fountain that's dried up, and it's on some hill in some like Victorian park, which is like the grounds of his mansion or something. Maybe there's the ocean, which is like dark, very murky. And troubled by storms, which are rolling in from the coast. It's not here yet, but there's a storm coming. And it's dusk. And yeah, we get this shot of like the statuary of the fountain, which all have like, it was like a statue that cried the fountain water, but instead now it's just got all this like murky black slime.
Oh yeah, like the runoff
running down it. And yeah, it's like an ambiguous kind of womanly figure who is crying into this fountain. And the fountain's totally dry, so all the fish, there were these like statues of fish in it, but they're all just like on little pegs hanging out in this dry fountain.
Yeah.
And we just hear Capricorn say, "Nice shot at Aquila." And then like Tyler just like turns to paper in his hands. He just like crushes down into his shoulder and like opens him up, and all of this like crazy like tendrils of purple energy start like spilling up out of him, and Capricorn just like drinks it all in.
Oh yeah, so like this in medias res of us fighting Tyler actually ends up being Capricorn getting superpowers, is what you're
saying.
This
is what's happening. Yeah.
Oh my. Well, that's good. Yep.
And so yeah, they like
him.
This is bad.
They like absorb all this power, and Tyler drops to the ground like like when snakes shed their skin, or when insects like shed their husks, right? They're old. It's just like one of those. He's like, it's all of his skin and his chitin and stuff just like falls over empty, and starts like some of it like blows away in the wind. And then we get the slow pan up Capricorn standing there, back to their full power, which we haven't seen before. And there's this like awful fishy smell in the air. And they have these big like proud horns, like, dark cape. They're like super edgelordy. And yeah,
super edgelordy. It's my favorite description.
There's just the like nails on chalkboard sound of their like nine-tailed scourge whip thing as it like scrapes on the tile work around the fountain. And Capricorn just says, "Now, if you don't mind, I'll be taking yours as well," and starts advancing towards Aquila. What do y'all do?
Well, I have a promise that I would never, that I would always be there when Aquila needed help. So I have to swoop in at this point because it looks like Capricorn's gonna be a mean person. Yeah. So I think in this park, like where this fountain is, there are a bunch of like old, sort of not very well kept trees. And I've just been sitting on one of the branches of those trees, like trying to stay out of sight until it was time for me to emerge dramatically once more. And so it's at this point that I jump out of the foliage and backflip into a position directly in front of Aquila. And with a dramatic, whoosh of my cloak, declare to Capricorn, you'll have to go through me first.
I'm totally picturing whatever that director is who always has the doves flying. It's like that, but with crows out of all the trees as you like swoop down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which director is that? Is that Ang Lee or is it something?
I think it's
else?
Ang Lee.
It's Ang Lee.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
might be Ang Lee, yeah.
Yeah, I think up until this point, like Aquila has been doing the equivalent of stand and drool, basically, where like it didn't
like
work.
your hand's still trembling after it had like loosed the arrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, my friend Aquila, I'm just gonna hit you with a consequence right out the gate because the roll was so terrible.
Thanks.
So you have a 4-count clock that you need to deal with, which is like your own despair / panic / horror at what you've done.
Okay. Is that just the 4 stress I have remaining?
No. So it'll
no.
just be a clock. I'll take this one from this thing. Just repurpose it. Oops. Oh God. My mouse accuracy is just terrible today. Oh gosh, I tell you. Sorry, give me a moment. It's been a while, since I GM'd a thing. I gotta get back into it. And so this will be. I mean, does that sound like a suitable description of your character's emotional state?
Yeah, that
Sean?
is. Yeah.
What is it? What?
So we'll call it Aquila's despair.
Aquila's despair. Nice.
And so you can't act until you deal with this clock.
Oh, butts.
Or you can resist this.
No, I don't think I can.
Okay. And then Corvus, please carry on.
So I land in front of Aquila and I declare you'll have to go through me first, with a flourish of my cape, and draw from the folds of it, or like off of it directly, however the like feather daggers appear between my fingers. These long black feathers.
Yeah, the like trio of feather kunais.
Exactly, yeah. Ready to strike as soon as Capricorn makes another aggressive move. It's one of those things where it's like, this is the setup, but I'm hoping Aquila will recover before I have to be the only one doing anything.
I mean, are you going to monologue at them to slow them down?
I mean,
do you want to have like the
evil
monologue equivalent of a rap battle with Capricorn?
Yes, this is my I'm transcending right here, and this is my transcendent ability, which is that I can monologue without being interrupted as long as I keep monologuing. So so standing there with these blades in my hand, I continue with a hand full of daggers flourish, as you do, dramatic movements and such, declare things like, I used to work for you, but now I'm better than you. I'm better than all of you come from the dark future. I know what the light is now, and I'm here to defeat you, and so forth, sort of rambling, continues.
And this is all happening as the two of you are like Capricorn is circling and you're constantly repositioning, so you're in between them and Aquila, defending her. Yeah, totally. I mean, let's see how that goes, right? You gotta roll it.
Yeah, I do. That's embody, right? To do monologuing things.
Either you could roll that or express. Both seem strong for what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with embody. I think we could use a good roll, and I have actual points in embody. What's my state looking like here, Andrew?
I mean, it's desperate.
It's desperate? Okay.
Because it must be. The rules demand that it is desperate.
Okay, so desperate standard?
But I think, you can have standard effect here, because you've already pushed yourself to get this effect, so you get an extra die.
Lovely.
I guess we can just delete this redeem Tyler.
Yeah.
And Tyler.
They're gone.
Tyler is dead now. It's
Tyler's
changed.
fucking dead.
Scorpio's not going to get revenge.
All right. Well,
Um,
here goes nothing.
but returning Scorpio's power could still happen. I'm
Do
gonna open
you
up this clock.
do you, my dear GM, have a dark bargain for me or anyone else?
You're already pushing yourself.
No, I'm not.
Yes,
Oh, I
you are
am?
to get
'Cause
to
of
get your
Oh,
monologue.
because of the transcendence. Yeah, you're right. No, I am.
Yeah, to use that ability, you need to push yourself. So
Fine.
cannot. As much as I would love to, Elf, I can't.
Never mind then. I get a 6 wrecked.
Okay. And so you've already described the kind of dialogue here. And so
It's a lot of like edgelordy cloak fooshing and dramatic
and like
dagger
slow
flourishing.
walking while
Yeah,
circling each
exactly.
other, right?
Yeah.
Like and this creates an opportunity for everyone else to like do stuff before anything else happens. So what are y'all doing with this time that Corvus has bought you at such, a dear cost, such risk to herself? Don't forget to mark your XP for Corvus.
I know what I'm going to do. I'm
by all
going to
means.
analyze the situation. I'm going to try to figure out exactly what just happened here.
And I mean, one surprise has already come up. Surely there are others laying in wait, right? Yeah. So if you want to just do some gather info,
yes,
you're more than
I
welcome to do
assume
so.
Desperate.
For these actions, because Corvus has like bought time by monologuing, we'll just set both of them. Whatever y'all are doing in this space will be controlled.
Okay.
Temporarily, and then once action resumes, once we're out of the like eye of the storm here, then we'll be back to things being shitty and desperate and horrible.
Alrighty. I'm also suffering from level 2 harm alone. I assume that would play into effect here, as it's more of a mental thing than a physical thing.
Yeah, and like you are alone. All the three of you are kind of isolated from each other in a certain way, right? Like Corvus is tied up doing what she's doing. Aquila has this like internal thing going on, and so again, like this thing that Gemini always has to deal with, of like everyone's off doing stupid edgelord stuff, and you're just like, can we just be heroes? Come on, guys.
Can we for once just work together? Do you have a double or a dark bargain?
I mean, it's tough to come up with one for this, like in this current.
Someone's behind you.
I would almost say that Capricorn takes notice. Like, sure, he can't interrupt Corvus, but
yeah, that you become the object of Capricorn's ire. Oh, and actually, yeah, I think that's totally appropriate because the two of you have this history now.
Yeah,
where Capricorn was in a fusion with you briefly.
Yeah,
that's a thing that's happened. So
I mean, I also helped him to his feet.
It was like a positive moment, but it's not clear how Capricorn really feels about that in the long. It might be like, yeah, that was nice, and we were friends, and I have to kill you because I can't be friends with anyone. I'm all edgy now.
I will totally accept that.
But yeah, that we will push things in that direction, I think is totally a fair dark bargain.
Excellent.
So you can ask me one question, and I will not give you great detail, but
cool.
There's not going to be any like immediate consequence.
Yeah, let me just quit.
Just rolling double ones.
Hey, so side note, we've rolled of all of our dice so far. There have been 2, 3,
5 ones.
5 ones.
Of 6 dice rolled.
Of 6 dice rolled. No, 7 dice rolled total. There have been 5 ones.
Yep. Okay.
The curse of John Harper.
I guess the real question here is how can I ask how is? Yeah. So how is what Aquila did and what happened to Scorpio connected?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Called
you're
out.
you're definitely
God.
not in the dark about what just went down. Now you're just like you like put it together.
Yeah.
I think maybe we see the like arrowhead like as Scorpio's husk like hits the ground, the arrow gets like punched fully through his torso, and so it's
Yeah.
just sitting there, and there's this dark like now jet black gem that's like cracked down the middle, sticking out of him on one of Aquila's arrows.
Oh, fantastic.
And yeah, you like recognize it clearly. And I don't think you would have much context on like what exactly this is and what it means, in the way that like if you were the time traveler, you might.
Yeah.
Because this is some weird future shit. And I don't think Aquila shared that information.
She definitely did not.
So no, it just looks like she murdered Scorpio, and then Capricorn was stoked and like took all of his power, and like there's a clear chain of events that goes she fires the
straight up
arrow,
murdered someone,
kills another, like even though he was a bad one, like he was another
he was
one of the
another
like
Zodiac.
he was another Zodiac knight, and then this other guy just like was like, cool, thanks, it's great. So that happened. I don't know, that's weird. Why would she do that?
Neat. So what
wasn't
harm
the plan
am I...
she discussed? No, and I think that's fine. You don't need to suffer any more than me setting you up to feel like you're betrayed by your friend. That's fine.
Oh yeah, no, that's great.
And Aquila, what are you going to do in this moment that Corvus has bought for you?
I would like to have a flashback.
Yes.
I think like Connor is sitting at his desk in his room, and he's got the crystal in his hand, and he's just like looking at it. He's flipping it over and just kind of feeling it in his hand. And at that point, Gemini, what are your characters' names? Tegan and
Giselle.
Giselle. Okay.
Yeah.
I think there's a knock, and like Connor quickly hides it, and Tegan and Giselle come in. And they're like, hey, we're checking up on you. How are things going? We're getting ready for, like basically prep for what's going to be happening.
Yeah.
And Connor says, tell me, the two of you, when faced with an impossible choice, what do you do?
Well, the first thing is nothing's really impossible. I think all three of us can agree on that. And Tegan kind of nods his head in agreement. Why? What's bugging you?
I have made some terrible choices that have gotten us to this point. I am worried that I may make the wrong decisions still in the time to come. I wasn't meant to fight, and yet here I am. And everything I touch burns out. I'm afraid to have the two of you near me. I'm afraid that the gravity of what I've done may pull us all in.
And Tegan speaks up at this point and he goes, "Didn't we just have a conversation in the training room about this? Like, we're here for each other. That's ultimately the case. You're not fighting alone. We do fight together as one. And really, not everything you touch burns out. I don't think that's the case at all."
And I think at that point, like, I turn and I set the crystal down like on the desk so it's out of view.
Yeah.
But like as I do it, like flares. And I just look at you and I say, I want to believe that. But I still feel so very alone. And I'm gonna roll confess to try and work on this clock.
I see.
Okay.
So this is like drawing on the memory of this interaction is what's going to help you
Yeah.
deal with your despair in the here and now. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I like that.
All right. So I guess I'm gonna go up to how many stress would we say this is?
As a flashback,
Yeah.
you being all broody and emo to Gemini, that seems
Yeah.
pretty simple.
Okay.
We can call this a one stress flashback.
Okay. Me. Woohoo. 6 stress. I have 1 in confess.
You can do it. I believe in you.
What is my position and effect?
Your position is controlled.
Okay.
And I think your effect is standard here.
Okay. 1 die. Anybody have a dark bargain or something?
Am I okay? I might.
Or
be
are
getting
you
this
helping?
wrong.
You can spend the stress to help me. If
I
you
was
want,
actually
but-
wondering if I could spend my social link because this is exactly what we used our social link for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
you
I'll
totally
burn
can.
out. I'll burn out my social link with.
Yeah, because
With
you can
Aquila.
spend the link to help without spending stress or needing to be there.
Yeah. So let's do
So,
that.
yeah.
All right, so I get an extra die.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
I mean, it's controlled.
You didn't
Yeah.
give me a chance to offer you a dark bargain,
Oh, I'm sorry.
and I
Oh.
had one.
Oh no.
So,
Well,
oh well. Now it
Here.
can just be a consequence. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna tick.
Now the dark bargain is just a consequence.
well,
just
at
gonna-
least I don't have to deal with a dark bargain and a consequence.
I'll just tick this one up, and you get 1 tick on your despair. So we cut back to the moment, and you're like still standing there. What does this look like of you like trying to regain your composure, your possession of yourself?
I think like out of the corner of my eye, Aquila sees Gemini, and like I guess Gemini kind of has put the pieces together at this point, and something about their cast or their like expression.
You can just tell from the look on their face.
Yeah.
Yeah. I almost imagine that it's that moment where they both look at each other as Giselle and Tegan kind of put it together. And you can tell that they know.
And just to make that, even more fun, you just hear the like whispering voice of Charybdis in your ear.
Of course I do.
Or well, really in your mind, just saying like, they know what you've done. Just your comforting friend Charybdis.
Yeah. My
So
good
comforting, so gentle, so nice, and not evil void monster.
It's a black hole, okay?
So
Okay, it's a black hole.
yeah,
It's not a monster.
listen, it's a black hole that speaks. Okay, so I think my monologue powers are not going to go on forever.
No, and so we come back to like the tail end of the monologuing, and you've like just finished speaking.
There's a what do you call it, like a declarative sort of at the end of whatever I've said, and my next action is to just attack, like charge Capricorn and like get into a fight. I just want to get into a fight.
Great. That's what Capricorn wants.
Yep, that's my plan.
They just say like, very well, you first, and like charge at you.
Overconfidence will be your downfall. Like straight back in there with all three of the kunai daggers, so to speak, feathers raised.
Yeah. Cool. What you rolling here?
I guess
friend?
it's defy, because
it sounds like you are mustering your courage and charging directly at your, facing your problems directly. It does indeed sound like defy.
Yes, indeed. I clicked the arrow by mistake. Okay. So I don't have any dice in defy, so this is gonna be fun. I don't get extra dice for Transcendence, do I? That was before we got Defy. Now we don't. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and y'all didn't select the move anyways.
Yeah,
so.
but still.
2 points of order. 1, do I mark a Transcendent action for what I just did?
Did you transcend and did you benefit from it?
I mean, I guess. Oh, okay. I guess I haven't officially transcended. Then, second, Can I help on this action?
Yeah, no, we already
no.
We already established. If you had dealt with your clock already, then yes. But until you resolve your horror and despair at the dark thing that you have wrought, that you have once again been duped into being an instrument of darkness.
My presence here is not enough to motivate Corvus.
Until you do that, I mean, you could spend a link.
Oh, I don't have a link, so no, I can't do that. Then that's fine.
But like, you're not able to like actually help right now.
Okay.
If you had a social link, I would say you can get around that.
Okay.
But
that is fair.
But no, you may not.
Dark bargain.
Yeah, I mean.
Dark bargains. The delicious jam on top of the otherwise already delicious toast of any roll in a Blades type game.
Yeah, okay, here's my dark bargain for you. It is that I will start a clock for what is happening. We'll have one slice filled into it. It's going to be a 6 count. Okay. And basically what's happening is that Scorpio's power is being like changed and consumed inside of Capricorn, and it will be irretrievably lost, and you won't be able to give it to Ben and restore him to his former snazzy glory.
His former snazzy glory.
His dapperness will be forever muted and mundane.
Oh, lame.
So yeah.
I'll take that bargain.
Yeah, like there just won't be a Scorpio constellation anymore.
I will
6 ticks of this clock.
I will take that bargain.
Great, it's got one filled in.
And I will charge post haste into this ridiculous fight. Desperate, I'm assuming, and probably limited.
Desperate. I mean, you're transcended, right?
Transcended, yeah.
Yeah, so you can have standard effect.
Sweet.
We might have, as a consequence, have Capricorn level up a little bit and become more of a badass. But...
Here goes nothing. Yes!
Okay, only Elf is actually allowed to roll.
My 1 die 6!
Great. Okay, well, and here, you know what we can do is... Because, you're just, like, making... There's no, like, clear objective here other than just fighting.
I mean, the objective is that the others are not going to be in danger while I'm fighting... Right? Like, because I've got the attention of Capricorn. Whatever needs to happen can happen while this is going on.
So you're actually setting up for like Ben and the other parts of your plan.
Exactly. I'm
through.
setting up for Ben to show, like, be able to touch Capricorn on the shoulder or whatever the plan is. You know.
I don't know what your plan is, but now is a good time.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and so this can count towards our return Scorpio's power clock, which we're going to set at 0 and then advance to 3. Boom. So the way was paved for this to happen. And as you're fighting him, I think we see in those trees that you sprung out of, there's Ben and his cult. And they have some like weird arcane clockwork device that they are setting up.
Oh, okay. It's like a laser beam shooter or something that will capture the mystical power.
It kind of looks like it might live somewhere between like a grandfather clock and a meat grinder.
Nice.
But there's lots of like stained glass and other like fancy materials used in its construction. But there's a big like intake area where it's gonna like take things into the machine.
Can I just say once again that it's so weird that we came to this conclusion that we were in like a
Victorian kind of
setting, and we never talked about it at all. I mean, we have now, but
it's great. I love this aesthetic.
We just like kind of arrived there.
I love leaning into it too.
Yeah. So I attack for all I'm worth against Capricorn, and that like scraping scourge comes like flicking across towards me, and I manage to nimbly duck under it and like slide with a little roll along the ground.
And yeah, like huge gouges are coming out of the stone anytime that Capricorn like misses you with this thing. It just like tears a bunch of stone out of the tilings and like flings them off into the woods. There's just like this whole fountain area is getting tore up.
He's trying to like bring it back around, and it's a little bit of a slow motion. And I'm slowing him down by like throwing these feathers at him that are like pinging off of his armor or armed like pieces.
Yeah, like they have under the cloak and stuff as they're fighting you. It's like you can see that they have like fur on their upper half, and then like fishy scales on their lower half. And their feet, as they're fighting, start like their toes like extend out into being like tentacles. So they kind of have like 2 octopi as feet, kind of.
Oh yeah.
They're like weird. Yeah, it's gross. And they seem to be continually like they're changing, and it's getting weirder.
It's like the power is doing stuff. And
of course the storm is rolling in, and the skies crossed with like lightning.
Of course, and the rain.
And there's like it's like the storm clouds, and then there's that thin band on the horizon of the sun setting. So there's like this bloody red orange color, and then the like dark purple ocean and the clouds overhead.
Nice. Yeah, I think I sort of get into melee range, and that's sort of what this Defy is. Like, I'm fighting hand to hand at close range with Capricorn.
Good luck.
It's more one of those things that's like I'm fighting hand to hand in such a way that I don't get a hit, because getting hit would be bad.
Yeah, you're like inside their reach and trying to avoid this weird whip.
It's a lot of like ducking and weaving. And getting around behind him and tapping him on the shoulder and ducking when the scourge comes sweeping around, that kind of thing.
Great. In the meantime,
do you have an action, Sean?
I don't have anything on mind right now. If you got something, go with it.
Yeah, I just don't know how to set it up. So I'm going to try to snap whatever has Aquila's attention right now, because she's obviously not in the right headspace.
I have my own attention.
And as much as I want to chew her out right now, we have something more pressing at hand.
And yeah, like even if your teammates are terrible team players, you're still a team player, right?
Yeah, so I think Giselle jumps down from the trees and she rushes over to Aquila, who's like, I'm imagining this fight not taking too far away from her.
Yeah, it's like Capricorn is trying to like edge things towards her.
Mhm.
And Corvus is doing a good job of like keeping them at bay and keeping them on this periphery.
Yeah. And so Giselle takes Aquila and kind of gives her a shake and goes, "Hey, you're not alone. Snap out of it. We can deal with this later."
Nice.
And Express?
Yeah, totally. You're trying to like convince her to change.
Desperate, I assume?
Yeah, we're still
We're
still
how
in
dark are the depths of Aquila's soul?
particularly pursuant to our previous dark bargain that you and I just struck about
Yeah.
Capricorn like taking notice of you. Yeah, this is a very dangerous thing to do. Also,
Yep.
you're not transcended right now,
Nope,
so
not yet.
it's hella dangerous. So yeah, desperate, and I think you have limited effect to get through to her,
Okay.
but that can still get you some progress on this clock, right?
Yeah. Could I push myself? Yeah, I'm going to push myself for an extra die. So I'll roll 1.
Great.
Yeah, this is fun times for me.
You know, even one die has a.
Shut your mouth. You shut your mouth.
So as a
geez.
dark. Oh, okay,
Oh, I
well.
pushed myself. I can't do a
All
dark
right, you
bargain.
pushed yourself. Never mind.
And that's
Okay.
2 stress. Neat. I'm at
So
7.
desperate, huh? Yeah. So Corvus, you're fighting Capricorn, and you feel like you kind of got things like under control. Everything's going great, and then you like go to dodge, and you bump into Giselle, who is just like standing here for some reason. And you realize that you've been like cornered over towards Aquila. And so you like bump into Giselle, you manage to duck, but then Giselle just gets wailed with the freaking scourge.
Excellent.
What the hell are you doing? Get down!
And so we're going to call this, I mean, you aren't transcended. Yeah,
Viciously scourged.
It's level 4 harm. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna be like torn in half, and you know, whatever soul dust escapes from your ruined corpse will be consumed by the Darkstar Charybdis. Like that's what's happening here.
Whip it good.
Would you like to resist?
Oh, I would absolutely like to resist.
Great.
All right. All right, cool. Let's do this. Hey, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, so you can bump it to level 3 harm. Yeah.
Scourged.
You can bump it to level
Scourged.
3 harm, fucking annihilated.
Star scourged.
Rended.
Yeah, and so like as it hits you, yeah, all the little, there are like barbs and hooks on this thing, and they light up and form the shape of the constellation Capricorn. Obviously, as you're getting like whipped by it, there's
Yeah.
and yeah, it's like hot and stingy and sharp and tears at you, and you're all messed up and get like knocked to the ground. That's great. Yeah, Aquila, are you still buried inside your dark world of feelings?
Oh my god. Dig
You're
yourself out of these goddamn feelings.
Are you gonna snap out of it or what?
I'm trying. Okay, so I think at that point, I see this happen in front of me.
And yeah, it's just like you're just like sitting there kind of half catatonic, and her ruined body just like falls through the frame and then lands on the ground in front of you.
Yeah, and I think like time slows in that moment, and I think there's like a like I watch the way that Capricorn is moving. Like I watch the way that they're moving, and I look at the way that Gemini is falling, or it's Tegan, I guess, is, or Giselle.
Yeah.
Sorry, Giselle is
Yes,
falling.
Giselle.
And like the thing I'm going here is I want to use analyze to get out of this, but I kind of want to put like the pieces together as to what's happening. Like I can see what's happening, but like I can see like
the full
beyond
gravity
that,
of
like
it.
they're all fighting each other, and I'm here, and I think like I have a moment where I see myself in the future, and it's all just like falling apart around me, and
right, you like see the future in which you do not act and remain paralyzed with like guilt and horror.
yeah, and like my mind like puts into effect, like I sort of like extrapolate how that's going to fall out. And like even though I am racked by guilt, it becomes necessary to actually like do something in this point. So yeah.
Well, I mean, let's see if it works. So you're rolling analyze.
I'm rolling analyze. Does anybody have anything they would like to do?
I'm a bloody corpse, so no.
It's difficult for me to help you. If only because I'm busy avoiding getting the same treatment as our friend there.
Poor Giselle.
I have a dark bargain for you.
Yes, of course you do. What is it?
You see that clock that's got one left in it?
Oh yeah, what are we gonna do? We're gonna do that?
About your dark like soul hunger, yeah. We're just gonna fire that up to full. Which, if I recall correctly,
we'll throw it into
do you remember what that
darkness?
means? Like at the very least, yeah, I think it would put you in darkness, and then probably
that's like letting Charybdis absorb your soul. Like
No,
yeah,
it's
I
your.
think
I think
I
it's
think
your
it-
friend's soul, if I recall correctly.
No, that's to get it down. I had to feed it to keep it
that's
down.
the like vampire aspect of it. Yeah.
I think what's going to happen here is because you're running with whose power were you using?
Aquarius's power.
It was Aquarius, right?
Yeah.
We discovered you had like killed Aquarius
And taken his power to come back in time.
Or no, yeah,
To inhabit his body.
He killed you because you were one of the baddies, and then as a noble last act, gave Aquila his star jewel and empowered her to go back and change fate. So
good job, Aquila. Good job.
so yeah, I think like once this clock fills, once this mission ends, like you give me your character sheet, you're done. I think that's what this clock means. I think you become a baddie again because that last bit of gas inside Aquarius's
Don't do it.
like jewel that he gave you is used up. And
Before the decision was made on this dark bargain, break right now. It's the best time.
Oh,
we'll be
fun.
back. We'll be
Okay.
back in 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Let's see if Aquila succumbs to the horrible darkness.
Yep.
Back soon.